Hey everyone. It's been a while since I last made a Karate Kid video, and with the recently released Karate Kid Legends, it's the perfect time to make another. Without going into any deep spoilers, the latest movie in the Karate Kid franchise connects the 2010 reboot with the original film and establishes that Mr. Han's Kung Fu lineage is a part of the same martial arts tree as Mr. Miyagi's. And that got me thinking, what does the complete Karate Kid master-student tree actually look like? Spoiler alert, it's a lot bigger and complex than you'd expect. The tree starts over 400 years ago with the Han family. No names yet, but they were all practitioners of Kung Fu. After Shimpo Miyagi fell asleep at sea and woke up in China, he met the Hans and learned to fight from them. He took those teachings and brought them back to his home of Okinawa. There, he taught his son what he had learned, and thus was the beginning of Miyagi-Do karate. Already we have two branches, the Miyagi karate branch that is being passed down from generation to generation in Okinawa, and the Han Kung Fu branch which remained in China. Both branches would be passed down from father to son over the centuries, although this pattern would eventually be broken. Let's start with the Miyagi-Do branch first, since that came first story-wise. The earliest known Miyagi to be seen on screen is Mr. Miyagi's father. As far as we know, he is the first Miyagi to break the father teaches son pattern. While he did still teach his son, he also taught his son's best friend, Sato. So now we have another split, Mr. Miyagi himself and Sato Taguchi. Let's get Sato's branch out of the way since it's relatively small. While he's had plenty of students over the course of his life, the main one of note was his nephew, Chosen Taguchi. We'll come back to him later. Back to Mr. Miyagi, he would teach his first known student in 1945, his own commanding officer during World War II. This was a man named Jack Pierce. Jack Pierce would go on to have his own son and taught him karate. And then that son would later go on to have a daughter named Julie Pierce, who he also taught a bit of karate to before dying in a car accident. Julie would meet Mr. Miyagi later on, and he helped her continue her karate training. Back on the Miyagi path, he would meet his second student in 1984, that being Daniel LaRusso. Okay, now is where things start to get a bit complicated. So before we go any further, we need to back up a bit and meet back up with the Hans. So the Han father-son lineage broke up when Mr. Han, no first name known, lost his wife and son in a car accident. A few years later, he would meet a boy named Dre Parker who helped him turn his life around, and in return, he taught him Kung Fu. Fast forward a decade, and Mr. Han is doing a lot better for himself. He opened his own school, where he teaches a bunch of kids, most importantly his own nephew, a kid named Li Fong. Li Fong would eventually move to New York, where he would end up teaching a retired boxer named Victor Lapani some Kung Fu techniques in order to win a boxing competition. Li also received some karate training from Daniel LaRusso, reconnecting that ancestral karate Kung Fu tree. And that pretty much does it for the main Miyagi-Han tree, but there's still a lot more to discuss. Years after Mr. Miyagi's death, the events of the Cobra Kai TV series begin. And to explain any further, we need to go back to the roots of the Cobra Kai karate tree. Cobra Kai has its origins in Korea, with Master Kim Sung-young and the Dong-sa. He has trained many people over the decades, most importantly a US Army captain named George Turner. Captain Turner would go on to teach John Kreese and Terry Silver the basics of Dong-sa karate, and after the war was over, Kreese and Silver would visit Korea to train from Master Kim directly. Kim Sung-young also had a granddaughter named Kim Da-eun who would also learn from him. While there are a lot of senseis that were trained under Master Kim, the ones of importance are Kreese, Silver, and Kim Da-eun. When Kreese and Silver returned to the US, they started what is now known as Cobra Kai karate. Silver handled the business side and Kreese did all of the training, however we do know of one student who was taught under Silver, that being Dennis de Guzman. Kreese would end up training the likes of Jimmy, Tommy, Bobby, Dutch, and most importantly, Johnny Lawrence. Fast forward to the modern day and we're back at the Cobra Kai TV series, and this is where everything gets messy. You see, people go from sensei to sensei in this show like it's musical chairs. Take Tori Nichols for example. She is trained under Johnny, Kreese, Silver, Kim Da-eun, Daniel, Chosen, and Mike Barnes, and we haven't even brought up Mike Barnes yet. So to make this tree a little more clean, I have created two categories. One I call Pure Cobra Kai, and the other one I call Miyagi Fang. This will hopefully make clear who trained under which specific styles, and if they learned more than one style. What I call Pure Cobra Kai is the style that Johnny taught in Season 1, and later taught by Kreese, Silver, and Master Kim. Anybody put on the Miyagi Fang group were also taught by Johnny, but a more mellowed one, who made his own, less aggressive style of Cobra Kai, which he temporarily named Eagle Fang. Miyagi Fang is the collective teachings of Daniel, Johnny, Chosen, and Mike Barnes. So let's start with Pure Cobra Kai. The only people who solely learned Cobra Kai were Aisha Robinson and Kyler Park. On the other hand, people who only learned Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang, while never learning any Cobra Kai, include Samantha and Anthony LaRusso, Dimitri, Chris, and Nathaniel. Everybody else in the show learned from all 3 dojos. These include Miguel, Robbie, Kenny, Devin, Mitch, Bert, Hawk, Tori, and many, many more. Meanwhile, back in Korea, Kim Da-eun and her grandfather Kim Sung-young are still teaching new students. These include people like Yoon Do-jin, Chung-hee, and most notably, the GOAT, Kwon Jae-sung. And that pretty much does it for the main tree. But what about the other dojos? Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai aren't the only styles of martial arts in the world. Let's quickly go over the other smaller trees seen throughout this franchise, starting with the Alpha Elites. These guys were all trained by a psycho named Paul Dugan. His students included Charlie, Gabe, Morgan, and most notably Ned Randall. Next we have the Fighting Dragons, a kung fu dojo taught by Master Lee. His top students included Chin, Liang, and Cheng. After that there's the Iron Dragons, led by Sensei Wolf. His top students were Zara Malik and Axel Kovacevic. And the most recent one we've seen is the Demolition Dojo, taught by a dude named O'Shea, with his top student being Connor Day. And that pretty much does it. From China to Okinawa to Korea to California to New York, this tree spans far and wide. If you're interested, I'll link the full tree in the description below. And if you think I missed something, feel free to let me know in the comments. I'm sure this tree isn't perfect, but I tried my best to make it as accurate as possible. And of course, as always, thank you for watching. Remember to like it if you liked it, subscribe if you really liked it, and I'll see you next time.